Have you ever wondered why your dog chooses to lie down right the second you sit down after a long day? Most people get this wrong and think they're just being lazy or looking for a comfy spot. But the truth goes so much deeper. Your dog is actually practicing emotional mirroring, which is a sophisticated biological mechanism to reflect and soothe your own stress levels. Instead of it being some random act, this is how they rid the room and the energy you're bringing home to become your emotional anchor. Just imagine you've just walked back into your NYC apartment after a high-pressure day, or you've spent hours stuck in Houston traffic. You let out a big sigh, and immediately, your four-legged best friend comes over and just flops down. That is pure synchronization in action. If you've ever felt your own heart rate slow down just because they're there, drop a number 9 in the comments so we know you're tuned in and to show that you aren't alone in this incredible bond. This video was created with the help of AI to share the deepest insights into dog psychology with our community of pet parents. So let's dive in and see what that flop really means. To understand why your dog does this, let's take a quick look at what's happening inside their brain. Let's look at the classic loyal flop through the eyes of a German Shepherd dog. These guys are famous for being hyper-aware and always on guard. So why would they just drop at your feet in such a vulnerable way? You might ask yourself, why did they pick this exact moment? Or, can they actually feel how fast my heart is racing? The answer is a big yes. Behaviorists have observed that when a dog does this, it triggers an oxytocin loop between the two of you. That's the feel-good hormone that helps you bond and create that deep emotional connection. Your pup isn't just lying down to nap. They're actively lowering their guard to invite your nervous system to do the same. They've learned that being near you creates a safe space where all those worries about bills or office drama can just melt away. A gentle pet right now is the perfect way to tell them you've received the message loud and clear. This doesn't mean you've done anything wrong. It means your dog is communicating and you're learning to listen. Building trust is what makes the difference here, and you're already doing a great job by simply being present with them. But what if they don't just lie down, but actually show you their belly? That brings us to a classic misconception. For our high-energy friends like the Labrador Retriever, showing the belly is often misunderstood as a 24/7 invitation for a belly rub. But from an emotional mirroring perspective, this is actually a vulnerability check. They are reflecting the absolute trust they have in you. When you're feeling upbeat, this might lead to a sudden case of the zoomies. But when you're tired, they might just stay still as a mirror of the peace they want you to feel. They aren't trying to trick you or set a trap. They are simply being enthusiastic about the social structure you've built together. Understanding what your dog is trying to tell you in these moments is the key to a happy home. Before we get into why they love to lie down right in your path, let us know which state you're watching from, or just hit that like button to support the channel. The good news? Once you understand the why, the what to do becomes a whole lot clearer. So, you're rushing around the kitchen in Texas trying to get dinner ready, and your pup decides the best place to nap is right in the middle of the floor. It's not just clumsiness. Research suggests that this proximity-seeking behavior actually increases when a pet parent feels emotionally distant or just plain preoccupied. Your dog is essentially creating a physical barrier to force you to disconnect from the outside world and reconnect with them. They're mirroring a need for attention that maybe you didn't even realize you were missing in the hustle of daily life. They aren't being stubborn. They might just be feeling overwhelmed by the lack of connection in that moment. Lying in your path is their silent way of saying, please notice me just a little. If you slow down, step gently, or offer a soft pet, they feel seen. If you walk past too quickly, they understand that you're busy, and while they don't hold a grudge, they register it emotionally. Once you slow down, you'll likely see them transition into an even deeper state of relaxation. That side stretch, where they melt into the floor with their legs kicked out, is the ultimate sign of synced-up relaxation. When you finally crash on the couch after a rainy day in Seattle, and your pup stretches out next to you, they're sending a silent signal that they are completely at peace in your presence. This is emotional energy at its finest, where your dog's breathing might even start to match yours, helping to lower those stress hormones or cortisol for both of you. They are syncing their emotional state with yours in a gentle emotional mirroring that says, "I'm here for you." This posture makes them take up more space and, paradoxically, makes them more open. They're not preparing to spring up or stay on alert. They're simply sharing space with you. People often think dogs are simple, but this kind of behavior is layered with emotional sensitivity. Sometimes, though, this mirroring comes in a much more dramatic and funny package. Labradors are the absolute kings of the sudden flop. They'll be walking along, and then, bam, they hit the ground like gravity just doubled. They're reflecting the excitement of the environment or the energy you're putting out. They've learned that this little bit of drama always gets a smile or a laugh, creating a positive feedback loop that makes your bond even tighter. Dogs repeat behaviors that create connection, especially if it makes their favorite person happy. If a sudden flop is followed by pawing or wiggling, that's a clear invitation to play and engage in some enrichment together. It's amazing to realize that every spot they choose is part of a silent conversation. Make sure to share this video with a friend who has a Velcro dog of their own, and don't forget to follow for more secrets about your dog's mind. So the next time you see this behavior, you'll know exactly what your dog is trying to tell you. At the end of the day, whether it's a loyal flop or a peaceful side stretch, your dog is an emotional expert who is always willing to adjust their own state to stay in sync with you. They don't flop in front of strangers or open up for people they don't trust. Everything they do with their body around you is part of the emotional language they've learned from being your companion. They seek reassurance, closeness, and emotional availability, just like we do. When you slow down, soften your voice, or give them a warm scratch behind the ears, you're speaking to them in a language they understand, right down to their heartbeat. Your dog doesn't need to be perfect. They just need you to understand them, and that's already something special. These moments are the purest form of love and synchronization. And if you've ever wondered why they sit across the room, just watching you with those soft, soulful eyes, well, that's another quiet love letter all on its own that we'll have to explore in our next journey together. Stay tuned, pet parents, because your bond is only going to get stronger from here.